Are we live? We're live. Yes, we're live. Okay, we're live. I'm getting wet here on the back of my head. Jesus. I should have worn a parka. Yeah, a rain suit or something. We're going to get them with today's. Yeah, today we're going to get them. The intro today will stump them because they have to get both. One might be easy. The second one might be easy, but the second one, okay, we're gonna wait, see if Mr. Music pops in, Wyatt, because you guys are getting so good at this music. I got a stumper today. And you have to get both. One might be easy, but you got to get the second one in order for it to count. I'm giving you some hints, but not that. Let's just say this was the intro to two different shows, and you have to get them both. Right? Good. I'm glad you agreed. That don't mean the banner comes off. Yeah, maybe we're gonna have to start. We'll give it a couple minutes here. I wanted to make this a good stumper today. Matter of fact, this was the one I was going to use yesterday. And I was like, nah, if they get this one, if you got yesterday's like as fast as you got it, I'm glad I held this one for today. Because it's a two-parter. Like Jeopardy, you got to get them both. Or Wheel of Misfortune. Can I buy a bowel? Well, looks like. All right, it's only 7:03. We'll give it a little more. But it's a good stumper today. It's a real good one. I think. Although I got a nugget. If this one, if you nail this one, I got a nugget hidden. Problem is, I got it. Actually, I have to record it on the other tablet because I'm trying to get music off this one. I thought it would be easy. Both turn the Wi-Fi on and do music transfer. I'm thinking it's going to transfer the whole folder. Not. I have to do it one song at a time, and I've got like 60 in here. So it's going to take me a while. When we hit 5 minutes, I'm going to play it. Let's see if you get them. You might get the first one because the first one is kind of easy. The second, you have to be a music and a TV person in order to get the second one. Oh, you think I was going to make it easy every time? The damn yesterday, I don't think it played 5 notes. It got nailed. All right. We're going to play it. Ready, idiot? Oh, let's just sit there and stare at me. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's hear it. No fair gargling. I think I got you stumped. I think I got you stumped. And this was used for two different intros. You're drawing a blank? Okay. First one. Theme from the movie Backdraft. Second one. Theme song to the Japanese cooking show played on the Food Network, Iron Chef. Oh, I might have to play this again tomorrow to see if Wyatt nails it. I don't think so. Yeah, it's the theme song from the movie Backdraft. And then the Food Network got the rights to the Japanese food program Iron Chef. And they used that song for their intro. And the interesting thing, when the producers and the three Iron Chefs came to the United States, the movie Backdraft was playing at a theater somewhere, and they took everybody to the movie. And everybody from the Japanese program said, they stole our theme song. And then the American producers explained, you guys asked if you could use it. So that's the multi-purpose theme right there. You watched Iron Chef and you didn't get that? Oh, oh my God. Remember the intro and the flames it blast across the screen? And, oh, Iron Chef. I loved Iron Chef. A matter of fact, I watch it every now and then because it's on YouTube. I loved Iron Chef. The only time it kind of irritated me was when the announcer would take like vacation, and then they would have a different announcer, and the voice, you know how you get something in your head and you kind of picture what somebody looks like. Well, they would show the announcer because the guy that narrated was always in a tuxedo, you know, a little Japanese guy in a tuxedo. And they dubbed the voice. Well, every now and then they would dub a different voice, and you'd be like, that ain't him. Although some of the shit they eat, oh my God. I'd be gagging watching that program. Today we're going to have filet of sea cucumber. And Chairman Kaga, boy, he always... And now for the secret ingredient. He whipped that sheet off. There'd be some... I'll never forget the day the frickin' octopus. And that one, I can't remember what the hell that one... That one Japanese chef, he had his own faction, and he taught cooking one way, and he said his way was the right way, and the way they were doing it. And then, oh, what the hell was that guy that come to America? What the hell was his name? The chef. The restaurant in New York is Nobu. And some movie star owns it. Oh, geez. Because he had a different way of cooking Japanese food, and they were that Ota. That was the guy's name, Ota, the Ota faction. They didn't like the way he cooked because it was all non-traditional. But I can't remember that chef's name, the one that won Iron Chef. And then he competed here against Bobby Flay, which, to me, when Bobby Flay won Iron Chef, that was such bullshit. Because Bobby Flay graduated from the Culinary Institute of America, which was the #1 in the United States. And Bobby Flay was their top chef. And when he won against, what the hell was his name? The Japanese chef that runs Nobu. Oh my God. And I'm trying to think the movie star that owns the restaurant. Oh my God, I'm drawing blanks everywhere. And I just watched a movie the other day. It was a Robin Williams movie, and he was the co-star of the movie. Oh God, what the hell was it? I just watched it about a week ago. Oh my God. De Niro. De Niro owns the restaurant. He owns Nobu in New York City. And I can't remember the goddamn Japanese chef, the young guy. God, I can. What the hell was his name? Because my favorite was Iron Chef Chinese. He had the yellow outfit. And he always, when they would come up out of the floor, he had the hatchet. He was my favorite out of all the Iron Chefs. He was my favorite, Iron Chef Chinese. Oh Christ, I can't remember. I can't remember shit. I have CRS disease. Can't remember shit. I got De Niro. I got the restaurant. I can't remember the chef. And I can picture him. Oh God, I loved it. Thank God that program ended before I shit canned my cable. Because I think it was 8 o'clock, I would be like my grandmother. Don't breathe. Iron Chef is on. And some of the secret ingredients, oh Jesus Christ, sea cucumber and oh, just some weird eel. Oh, when they would take them live eels out of the tank and skin them alive, I'd be like, wah. And shark fin soup and. But I loved watching Iron Chef. Oh, what a program. Oh, God. Iron Chef America sucked. It really did. They tried to do a takeoff of, Iron Chef Japan. And Chairman Kaga made it because Chairman Kaga always had them expensive, weird outfits on, and the sleeves, the puffy sleeves with the lace and everything. But when Bobby Flay won, that was a buyout. Somebody paid that one. What are you doing here? Huh? No, you can't stay here for the show. Yeah, get back under your spotlight. I get all engrossed in the intro music and I forgot to put asshole back in his corner. How do you like the Hawaiian theme set today? Let me back out of the way so you get the whole thing here. This is one of four. I have 4 Hawaiian backgrounds. I'm now up to 30 of these goddamn things. Jesus. I gotta hang them up one day. They're all folded up in a big giant folder. And what was I doing today? On Temu, going through the clearance again on backgrounds like I need more. Although I found another one like yesterday. It's like a different view of that studio. Red and white. it's like a different camera angle. It's I clicked to order it, but I haven't bought it yet. I was like, oh, geez, another background. But that red one looks so good, I had to buy the other one. I keep saying I'm going to hang all these up. I mean, I've got everything. I've got the background holder and too goddamn lazy. Today was another screw it day. I was going to do laundry. The machine ain't going nowhere. The laundry ain't going nowhere, so. I'm starting to get the hang of that machine, though, finally. I just have to get in the frame of mind that it's going to take an hour to do laundry. I think that's another reason I didn't do it today. I'm like, oh, geez. There's no quick setting on that stupid-ass thing. Well, there is, but it don't put enough water in the drum. I hate that machine. In order for me to use the quick setting, I have to set it on heavy duty. When the drum fills, hit stop, turn it to the quick setting, and then start the machine again. Because if I put it on quick setting, it puts like 3 gallons of water in the drum, and you still got dry clothing, and then it does a spin. That's another thing I hate. You put the laundry in. All right, you put the soap in, you put the close the drawer, shut the door, hit start, and the machine spins. And then all the laundry goes up the side of the drum. Then the water starts. Well, if you have it on the short, it puts like 3 gallons in. Then the clothes fall down to the bottom of the drum. They suck up all the water, and the agitator shreds the shit out of your clothes. Oh, these new machines are goofy. Yeah, I close the lid and hit start, and the lid locks. And then the drum will make a couple revolutions, and it stops. And then it makes another couple revolutions, and it stops. And then it does a spin, close, it stops. Then the water starts, and the drum will make half a revolution and stop. And then it makes another half, and it stops. While it's filling, which, it's getting all the clothes wet. It is the goofiest. I hate that machine. If the other one wouldn't have been screwed up so bad, I'd have repaired it. At least when I put it on short load, I got a short load. 22 minutes, done. No. 55 minutes to do a load of laundry. Yeah. And it's a balance test. So when it spins, if there's too many clothes on one side of the drum, it stops the machine. And the lid will unlock, and that's telling you, hey, you got to rearrange clothing. Well, when I load in a circular fashion. Go, 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 go. That way, everything is spread out. I hate that machine. And then, like my other machine, when it was done, you'd hear, ah, and I could hear it all the way up here. When the load is done with the new one, it goes ding 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 ding, and I can't hear the ding ding ding. Well, yeah, I could put it for the short load. The problem is, if I set it for short load, the machine is assuming like there's 3 pieces of clothing in the machine. It don't put enough water in. I tried it. It puts like 3 gallons, and then the agitator starts, and the clothes are wet, but they're not in water. I stopped the machine right away. I was like, oh, God damn, I'm going to shred my shirts. Stupid ass machine. I made my phone call this morning. And did I shock the shit out of somebody? Because I got the vice president of marketing. And I said to him, there were 300 loaves of bread and not one bun. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I think it was pretty clear. I said, there were 300 loaves of bread, family size, shelves full, racks full. The section for buns was empty. He says empty. E-M-P-T-Y. Empty. No hamburger buns, no hot dog buns. Empty. Can I call you back? Gladly. I'll be waiting. And about 45 minutes later, he's like, you're right. Oh, you think I'm telling you a story? Because he called the store manager. And the store manager said, no buns. Yeah, no buns. And then the store manager said, did you happen to get a call from a grumpy customer? He said, why, yes. The manager went, I thought so. Well, the loaders forgot to put the racks of buns on the truck. Then the driver forgot to check his load. So I got a whole shit of people in trouble today. The VP said, I will be handling this personally. I go, oh, good. I said, what does that mean? I'll be coming to Cleveland. Oh. I would like to be a fly on the wall at the bread plant when he shows up. Because a lot of people are going to be getting some ass chewings. The loaders and the driver. Because all the driver did was jump in the truck and go. He's supposed to check. Because had he checked, he would have went, hey, ain't no buns on my truck. But no. He said to the loaders, are we all set? And the loaders said, yep. Away he went. Then when he got to his stops, he didn't have any buns. Now you would think, we get to the first stop. We go, I don't have any buns. I'll be right back. No. He delivered the whole route, and none of his stores got buns. None. And I said to the VP, I said, when he got to the first stop and realized there were no buns on his truck, why did he not turn around and go back to the plant? Well, he didn't want to be late for his deliveries. Oh, we don't want to be late, but we don't have all the product. I said, what the hell kind of driver is this? More worried about the time than worried about pleasing customers? He had 10 stores, 10 stops. Nobody got buns. He was more worried about his deliveries than he was about making sure he could deliver all the product he was supposed to deliver. Even, the VP had to agree with me. He said when he got to the first stop and realized there were no buns, he should have turned right around. No. He made his 10-store delivery and went home. I'm done for today. I made my deliveries. Because any leftover product, like day old or whatever, that goes back to the plant because they have day old stores, he don't have to unload. His job is to deliver. So when he gets back to the plant, he backs into the dock, and the loaders take all the merchandise off the truck, and then they, the truck's ready to load for the next day. So, what the hell were the loaders doing? Here's racks of buns. We just walk past them. Because I said, were they on the list to load the truck? He said, well, yes. Then why didn't they get loaded? He goes, well, that's why I'm going to, I'm coming to town to find out. Like they took a break And then they were like, oh, okay, that truck's done. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, Kathy, complacent. Plain and simple. Nobody double checks anything anymore. And like I told the BP, Carl was his name, Carl. I said, Carl, question him when he got to the first stop why he didn't turn around and go right back to the plant. He knew he didn't have product. He's got his store. Okay, this store gets 2 racks of bread, that gets 1 rack of buns, and, 2 racks of whatever. Okay, wheels in the bread. I don't see no buns. There ain't no buns on this truck. He should have gone right back to the plant. Said to the loaders, hey, you guys, you fucked up. Where's my buns? Ain't no buns. Look in the truck. Nobody double checked. Nobody bothered. I've been saying that. Nobody has quality control. Nobody. The only place that had quality control was your mom and pop places. They knew, okay, we're going to need 40 loaves of rye to bake, and we got to bake 100 loaves of white, and we got to bake 30 loaves of pumpernickel. And then as it was coming out of the oven, somebody was checking, okay. And then when it goes up in the front, whoever's putting it in the case was like, okay, I put 10 loaves in, I should have 20 more over here. Okay. Because I even said, did they not bake any buns? He said, we bake everything. He says, we start with white bread because that's the biggest seller. And then rye bread and the multi-grain, for the tree huggers, you got to have their multi-grain. And then when they're done baking bread, then they bake the buns. Hamburger buns first, then the hot dog buns. God, I remember, we had over here, we had Elmira Bakery. It was over on Elmira Avenue. And it was a typical mom and pop, and they baked everything. I mean, from bread to cookies to donuts and Danish and you name it. They baked everything. Matter of fact, they said they would start like 2:30 in the morning, so that when they opened at 6, they were ready to go. And they were also, they do cake orders. So somebody was decorating cakes. And then, of course, then they had leftover cakes to put in the case. Because they also did wedding cakes. God, they made the best goddamn poppy seed donuts. Oh, you can't even find a poppy seed donut anymore. Well, yeah, the goddamn drug test ruined that. Because poppy seed gives a false reading. I can't even order. Like, Gigantic Eaglet has a bakery at 117th. I can't even order poppy seed filled donuts because they don't make it. They don't even stock the fucking poppy seed filling. Except for around Easter when they make poppy seed rolls. But you can't order a poppy seed filled donut. Matter of fact, the first time I mentioned it, the girl looked at me like I was speaking Chinese. She said, poppy seed filled? You mean like Boston cream or chocolate? Yes, poppy seed. Poppy seed donuts with powdered sugar on them. Poppy seed donuts. Now I remember she yelled back to the one old woman back in the corner that was, I think she was frosting a cake or something. Hey, Molly, do you ever hear of poppy seed filled donuts? And the old lady was like, oh God, they used to sell like crazy. Not no more. The only way I could get a poppy seed donut is if I order a dozen unfilled donuts and then buy the canned poppy seed and fill the donuts myself. It's the only way I can get a poppy seed filled donut. Nobody makes them. And it's disgusting that you can't order them. Like I said to the girl, okay, Easter's coming up. You're going to have poppy seed filling. Can I get poppy seed filled donuts? No. Because it's a pain in the ass. They would have to put poppy seed filling in the machine, fill me a dozen donuts, then clean the fuck out of the machine. Oh, that's too much work. Now, if I ordered 50 dozen, oh yeah. It's sad. That was one of my favorite donuts. And you can't even, God, there ain't no mom and pop places around anymore. Even the little old Italian bakery over on Fulton Road, Mazzone's, gone. The kids didn't want the business. They sold all the equipment and they sold the building. Can't get cannolis. I used to go down for cannolis. Can't get them no more. And we used to have an Italian bakery not that far from me. Well, they went out to Strongsville. I'm not going to drive out to Strongsville for a dozen cannolis because I eat the bastards on the way home. Thank God my smoky shop is still going. If I want to drive over on Fleet, I'm gonna have to make a ride over on Fleet Avenue. Fleet to 63rd, hang a left. 63rd, dead ends into Heisley. And there's the smoky shop. Solo to make God, that was the only one that made goddamn fillings was Solo. They stopped making the goddamn. I couldn't even go buy a can of filling now. And I don't pay any attention to it. So I didn't even know it was missing from the shelf. Well, what about people that want to make poppy seed rolls for Easter? You can't. I'm sure not everybody on Earth stopped baking. So you can't buy Solo poppy seed filling anymore? They still make the nut filling? Although I'm not big on nut roll. I know I can still get the poppy seed rolls because, as a matter of fact, Marks will be carrying it for Easter. You know, you mentioned poppy seed filled donuts, and people look at you like you're an insane idiot. Bakeries used to regularly make poppy seed filled donuts. I mean, I'm not taking no fucking drug test. I do, but if I tell my pain management doctor I've been eating a shitload of poppy seed, I won't have to worry about the cocaine reading on my drug test. What about all the people that make tchotchkes? You make them every flavor. My grandmother would make them every flavor. Apricot, cherry, poppy seed, nuts, cherry. God, there were although she would go down the West Side Market and they would, scoop it out of a big drum and put it into a Chinese food container. It was the only time my grandmother would go to the market when she was going to bake. Because she didn't trust my grandfather to come home with the right stuff. And she'd go to the filling stand. And they'd scoop it out of a barrel. My grandmother would come home, look like she was having a Chinese feast. Every little container, apricot filling, nut filling, poppy seed filling, cherry filling. Even when I went down to West Side Market, there were 4 bakery stands. None of them poppy seed donuts. Matter of fact, none of them even heard of them. They'd look at me, poppy seed donuts? You mean donuts with poppy seeds on them? No! You know the donut that you would take and you would fill with cream or Boston cream filling? Yeah. Poppy seed. Never heard of them. I don't know when they stopped. Because I kind of quit ordering them, but you could go into any bakery. I remember Huff Bakery. They were right up the street. I would order them. Can I get a dozen poppy seed donuts for tomorrow? Yes, sir, Mr. Grumpy, no problem. I'd show up the next day. Here's your donuts. Okay. Oh, you mean I got to pay for them? Oh, sorry. Here you go. God, it was a sad day when Huff Bakery closed up. God. That's like my... Well, the bakery in Lakewood, he was gone. There used to be a bakery in Lakewood, Tommy's. Tommy got so far in debt that he had to go over to Hungary and sell all the property that was willed to him by his parents in order to pay off his debts here. Yeah, poor Tommy was like $65,000 in debt. He closed the bakery, flew over to Hungary. I can't remember how many acres of land that, of course, you know, before he came over here, they were farmers over there. And they had acres and acres and acres and acres and acres. He didn't want to be a farmer. He wanted to be a baker. So he came over here. Apprenticed at a couple of bakeries and then opened his own. They have mom and pop places can't make it. And those are the only ones that really catered to the public. You know, you go to a mom and pop place, say, hey, you know, I need a German tort for a party I'm having in 2 weeks. Okay. It'll be ready. Go to Giant Eagle and they're like, why not? Oh, we don't make those. It's traditions down the sewer. But see, our generation, you know, basically the traditions died after us. Most of our kids don't want nothing to do with that. I know my son, he was like, I don't want to eat any of that food. What do you mean, smoked sausage? Blah. The only smoked sausage they know is Hillshire. I like Kaiser. When I ain't driving over to frickin' Bedford. But that's the only way I can hang on to some tradition. Drive over to Bedford, to Kaiser's, to get a little bit of enjoyment, because it's not like I can go over there weekly. Although I'll tell you what, when I would load up on sausage and peppered bacon, and I would savor every bite. Chew slowly. But like my kid, I don't want none of that food. And you know, the days of the big family gatherings at holidays are gone. God, I remember back growing up, you know, every holiday somebody hosted the holiday. Easter, we go out, you know, to my uncle's out in Columbia Station, because they had an old farmhouse. Their kitchen would seat like 50. And all my aunts, they'd all get together and cook dinner. Then the whole family sat down. Not now, not today. The only time you really see that, and the only people that really hang on to tradition, are the black people. I know I got friends down the street. Easter, oh, her house is loaded. If they got leftovers, they bring them up to me. Thank you. No chitlins, please. I'll take anything else. No chitlins. But they even make chitlins. They go to some butcher shop on the east side, a black butcher shop. They get the hell are chitlins, intestines. Yeah, I mean, every holiday, house full. All the white people are like, God damn, they're taking all the parking spaces on the street. Well, yeah, they're keeping up the tradition. And does she make the best macaroni and cheese? Uh-huh. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I used to live across the street from her. And I moved 8 houses away. You know, I don't see her that often. Not to mention her boyfriend passed away, and she ended up having to get a full-time job, and so I don't see her that much. But holidays, there'll be a knock at my door. Here, Grandma sent you a plate. Oh, boy. But I hate to admit it, but the white people, their traditions just went in the sewer. Because like my cousins, they really don't want to be bothered. So we don't have any family get-togethers anymore. Christ, they don't even talk to me. They were like, thank God we don't have any family gatherings. We don't have to have him around. I'll tell you, for some reason, our family was like the black sheep. And I had well, how many? Yeah, there were 4 sisters and 5 brothers. My grandmother's mother had 9 kids. So it was a big family, and it was strange because my father had an uncle that was like 5 years younger than him. And for some reason, we never got invited to a lot of the big family gatherings, and I never found out why. But we were like kind of the black sheep. And then, when everybody passed, all the aunts and uncles, none of my cousins want to be bothered with anything. So all the family tradition just went right in the sewer. But you look around the neighborhood, around Easter. Now, back growing up, this was 100% white neighborhood. Now it's about 50-50. On the holidays, who's throwing the big get-togethers? Not the white people. And it's sad because I wanted to try to keep the traditions up, but I'm the only one eating it. Like say my son, I even said to him one day, I said, "You want to take a ride? Oh, where are you going?" "Out to Bedford." "For what?" "I gotta go to the meat store." "What meat store?" The Hungarian place, Kaiser's." I don't know that. So I come home with a gourmet feast. I'm like, "Hey, no, I don't want none of that. You eat it." "Okay, I will. It's all mine." "Oh, you too, huh?" You're the black sheep too, huh? I mean, great memories. Oh my God, great memories of family gatherings and the conversations that went on and the shit we weren't allowed to hear, You kids go in the other room. And everybody break up laughing and like, what they say? Damn it. I mean, like what was probably here too. My father for years was blue collar, so. But like my one uncle, we always went over there for 4th of July because he had a huge backyard, and until the city passed an ordinance, they were allowed to shoot fireworks. So every 4th of July, we went over there. Big cookout. My uncle would rent tables and borrow chairs from the funeral home up the street. Big cookout. Come evening, big fireworks display. Not no more. Once all the aunts and uncles died out, the tradition died out. And it's sad. These kids today don't know what they're missing. And hardly anybody even remembers how to cook half that food anymore. It's just sad. Talk about depressing. And here we're coming up on Easter. Maybe I can drop hints with my neighbor. Hey, Tanya, food. If I drive by and see her, I know I'll get food. I'll just go over there, chat a little bit, and then there'll be a knock on my door. Grandma sent you food. Oh boy. See, I haven't talked to her in a while. She probably thinks I'm mad at her. I don't know. I'll have to go strike up a conversation and drop the hint like, gee, Easter's coming. Then she'll go, I'll send you down some leftovers. Okay. Can I have an extra big helping of macaroni and cheese? God, I'll tell you what, black people know how to make real macaroni and cheese. All those Southerners, too. Oh, there's some... I've had some Southern cooking. And you know, like Creole, every Southerner has a different way of making it. I'll never forget, I surprised the shit out of my buddy's aunt. Because she was talking about making some shrimp Creole. And I said, are you going to start with a roux? And she looked at me, she goes, do you know what a roux is? Uh-huh. And basically it's either oil and flour or butter and flour, and you cook it. And you got to get it to a certain color, like a medium brown. And God forbid you burn a roux, because that is the base for your Creole. And it shocked the shit out of her. I knew what the hell it was. I didn't have the nerve to tell her I learned it on the Food Network from Emerald. One day Emerald made Creole. And he said, you always got to start with a roux. And he said, a roux is simple. It's either oil and flour or butter and flour. And you cook it. You got to keep stirring it, stirring it, stirring it. And when it gets to a certain color, you know it's ready. Then you start your Creole. I'll tell you what, I learned a lot about cooking from Emerald. I loved Emerald. Because he cooked old-fashioned. Everything was from scratch, and it was the way he learned it from family. It's sad to see him hawking frickin' air fryers. The Food Network said, well, you kind of run the gamut. You're losing, viewers. So we'll dump you. And he carried that network. He made the Food Network what it was. People, they didn't turn in to watch. Who was the one that got disgraced? What was her name? She lost her restaurants and everything. What the hell was her name? Every goddamn recipe of hers was, well, you start with a pound of butter. Yeah. But she got accused of some bigotry or something in her restaurants. And then the shit hit the fan, and she ended up losing everything. The Food Network booted her ass, and then people quit going to her restaurants. But Paula. Yeah, she went from being a star on the Food Network to a pauper. She lost everything. All of her endorsements pulled out. Yeah, Paula Deen. Good old pound of butter Paula. That's what I used to call her. Pound of butter Paula. Because every goddamn recipe. Start with a pound of butter. Did you know about all the controversy with her? God, it was on the news, too. If you didn't know Paula Deen, by the time the news networks got done with her, everybody knew who Paula Deen was. I couldn't stand her anyway. I really didn't feel sorry for her when the shit hit the fan. But when the Food Network ditched Emerald, that was sickening. Gee, no Jenny tonight. No Jenny. Although I got an email from Nomad. He said he'll be around in a bit. Probably like on the weekends. I thought Wyatt would be here. And what happened to our newbie, Mr. Rican? I was surprised when I saw he was a New Yorker. Wow. How did we ever come? How did we get hooked up with him? It's nice seeing a new name. Is he related to somebody? Haven't seen Jenny's mom around either lately. She was here for one show and she was like, Eh. Yeah, gee, nobody here tonight. It's the way it ends up a lot. You and I talking to one another. It's one loyal follower. That's because we were in the same meat store at the same time. Good old Kaiser's. I got to get over there. I've got to get over there. Really? I'm I don't get in the chat because it kind of ticks me off because as much as Jeff and I have emailed back and forth, I'll say hi to him in the chat and he fucking ignores me. Like the other day he popped in when Shiz was talking about Kaiser. And I said hello to him 2 or 3 times. Nothing. I'm like, what the hell did I do to you? Now, Scotto, every time he sees me, even if I don't say hello to Scotto first, boy, he sees me in the chat. He makes sure that he says hello. He's a trip. Oh, God, he's a trip. Scotto could do his own show. He could definitely carry a crowd. The imitations he does and the costumes he puts on. I'm still wondering how Shiz got hooked up with Scotto and how Jeff got hooked up with Scotto. I'm going to have to write Shannon one day and ask her, how did you and Scotto get hooked up? Because she's in Boston, he's out in California. And Jeff's in Pennsylvania. I can't remember exactly where. I sent Jeff some stuff. I sent him some signs for his man cave. I can't remember where the hell he lives in PA. He always makes it out that he lives in Kentucky. He don't live in Kentucky. He lives in Pennsylvania. And see, that's another connection. How the hell he got connected with Scotto. And then they run their show every night. But I'll pop in the chat and Jeff kind of ignores me. One of these days I'm going to email him and say, what the hell did I do to you? You don't have to kiss my ass, but at least say hi. Especially when I go out of my way to say hi. I ordered 3 more shirts today. Temu clearance. Obnoxious shirts. I can't wait till they get here. Although one, I got to order it. Everything that I bought isn't over $3. There's one shirt on sale for $7. trying to think how it goes. Something about chemo would be more fun if you heard it screaming while it was being killed. I'm going to order that one. Even if I got to spend $7. But I ordered some good ones. I'm hoping to have them in a week. Then I ordered another TV stand. I wasn't paying attention when I ordered the one. And today I see one that has a rack for like a DVD player or a sound bar. So I ordered it. So I'm going to put the big TV on the new rack and then put the LG on the other rack. And then kind of rearrange the bedroom so that I can have 3 TVs. I'll have one for my Roku, and then one connected to the antenna. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the third one yet. Who in Virginia? Jeff? No. Jeff's in PA. I got his address written down here somewhere. He's in Pennsylvania. He ain't that far from me. Probably about an hour and a half drive. Maybe 2 hours. Yeah, probably 2 hours. But one thing I hate about PA, as soon as you cross a border, you gotta pay. You can take the interstate to PA, and then the PA Pike, you have to pay. I'm cheap. One of these days I gotta drive up to Rhode Island, visit my cousin and her husband. He's restoring a 1970 Torino Cobra jet. Very rare car. They didn't build that many Cobra jets. So when he gets it done, I want to go up and drive it. My cousin has an absolutely immaculate Gran Torino, 1970. Her mother ordered it. And when her mother passed away, her father gave it to her. And this thing is spotless, beautiful. 1970 Gran Torino, gorgeous. Two-owner car, her mother and her. It's only got like 70,000 miles on it. Her mother kept it immaculate. And when she got it, she continued the tradition in that car. It gets babied. It only comes out for cruise-ins like on Friday night or Saturday night, and then back in the garage. But it is gorgeous. And her husband come across this Cobra jet. So he's restoring it. He's restored quite a few. Matter of fact, he restored, what the hell year was that goddamn Ranchero? Remember when the Ford Falcon was like the size of a Mustang? And they made the Ranchero, which was like the pickup truck. He restored one of them. It was a 3 on the tree. Oh, God, I wanted that thing in a worse way. He wouldn't sell it to me. He goes, no, I don't sell cars to family. I said, I'm so far distant family, you don't even know me. No, I'm not selling it to you. Yeah. Only problem is he painted it like an ugly orange. I was like, Kevin, what the hell did you paint it that color for? Yeah, I had it in my paint shop. He's got a, what the hell year is it? 29 or 30. I think it's a 29 Model A. That's really rough. He said one day he's going to restore that. Yeah, so picture that as a Ranchero, you know, like an El Camino, little tiny pickup truck. They didn't make that many. That's why I told him I wanted it. He wouldn't sell it to me. No. That's like the other day. I saw a Mercury Comet. I haven't seen one of them in eons. Which the Comet was a Falcon with different grill and different taillights. I mean, yeah, Mercury had to have their, although there's a wrecking yard not that far from me. In the wrecking yard, and it's been there for a couple of years, a Mercury Capri. And I gotta find out why nobody's had interest in it. Because the Capri was imported, and there just weren't that many. And you would think somebody would have grabbed this car. I mean, body-wise, it looks perfect. From what I can see through the fence, the interior looks great. So I don't know what's wrong with it. But it's been there a couple of years, and I'm like, although kids nowadays have no interest in that shit. It's people my age that are like, oh. People walk past it, probably don't know what the hell it is. The only problem is it's probably got a goddamn salvage title. And those things are a bitch to get converted. Remember, there were a couple of years the Thunderbird had suicide doors. My cousin had one. Thunderbird with suicide doors. I can't remember what year. They didn't make that many. Because the suicide, in England, they love their cars with suicide doors. Rolls Royces still have them. Here in America, we're not that big on suicide door cars. But I remember a couple of years, Thunderbird made a 4-door with suicide doors because it had flip-up headlights. The headlights were hidden in the grill. You turn the headlights on and the grill, and they had suicide doors. And I tell people, yeah, Thunderbirds had suicide doors, and they're like, no. It was the 70s, something 70s. During the 70s, there were a couple of years that Thunderbird had a 4-door with suicide doors. I know. My cousin had one. I rode in one. I know. I used to sit in the back seat, just fuck with the doors. I loved them. Open the door. Although the reason they call them suicide doors was people that open them, on the left side in traffic, and oops. There goes old Henry. But it's amazing you still get a Rolls Royce with them if you got $300,000. I can't remember what, I want to say 73 through 75 maybe. They didn't catch on. Ford was like, well, we tried it, didn't work. We'll go back to the 2-door Thunderbird. And then when they remade the Thunderbird, I want to say 2000. I think 2000. And it didn't catch on. People didn't like it. Although, typical Ford, they bring back the Thunderbird and they don't give it any gut. They stick a 302 in it. Put a 351 in or a 429. Make it worth something. No, they put some gutless little V8 in it. But then again, it's our generation that grew up with the muscle cars that know what the hell a muscle car is. Although those suckers, were they dangerous to drive. They didn't have brakes for shit. One of my high school buddies had a Roadrunner. He had a Roadrunner. I think it had the small Hemi in it. Or no, he had the goddamn Hemi with the 6-pack on it. And a 4-speed. And he demolished it. Almost killed himself. Man, to this day, he's got some, his head went right through the windshield. Right over the steering wheel, out onto the hood. Lost control of it and put it into a tree. And the tree didn't move. He did. He was out laying on the goddamn hood with his face cut open. What a beautiful car. destroyed it. It was his graduation gift from high school. His parents, he never had really good grades. And his parents told him, if you get decent grades and graduate, you can order that Roadrunner. Whatever you want. Well, it was amazing how Dave actually studied. He went from C's and D's to all B's. Graduated, got his diploma, told his father, here's the diploma. I kept my end of the bargain up. They went right up to the dealer, and he ordered it. 383 with 6 carburetors. That big fancy shaker hood. 4-speed. Had it about a year. And then decided to show off. Lost control of it and dead nailed the tree. They peeled him off the hood. God, he was in intensive care for a couple of weeks. But see, part of the problem is those cars were not safe. None of the muscle cars were. They were fast, but they didn't stop. But man, I'll tell you what, it was a hell of a time to grow up. Because everybody was competing. Every manufacturer was competing. Although the Camaro never really took off. GM tried to copy the Mustang. It just didn't work. Matter of fact, I think they stopped making the Camaro again. Because it just... Well, they dropped the price on the Corvette. You know, why pay $60,000 for a Camaro when you can pay $70,000 for a Corvette? That was the one smart move that GM did, though. They made the Corvette a little more affordable. Unless you really want a Corvette. You can have a Corvette, or you can have a Corvette. 70,000, 100,000. Take your pick. The only problem is no manual transmissions in the Corvettes. A true muscle car has a manual, hands down. That's why Ford still puts a manual in the Mustang. Ford knows what they're doing. I heard they're dropping it because it ain't selling. I'll have to talk to Timmy. Timmy works for a Chevy dealer. I'll have to ask him. If anybody will know him, he'll know. But I had heard they were going to drop it because it ain't selling. Although, you know, they're making too goddamn many. Everything is SUV, 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 SUV. Not everybody wants an SUV. That's why your foreign cars are still making, coupes and sedans. With Ford, you used to have a Taurus. You don't have the Taurus anymore. See, all these manufacturers think they know what we want. They don't. I would like a nice sedan with a manual transmission. That's why I hope I can grab that Passat. I'm hoping it don't have serious problems. Because body-wise, it's really nice. It's clean. Not to mention metallic jade green. Yeah, but like right now, the new Challengers are all electric. They're not making none with engines. Who wants a battery? Not me. Give me a good old manual. The killer on that Passat will be if it needs a clutch. That'll kill the deal. I'm praying it don't need a clutch. I know it's got a lot of electrical bugs. Engine work I can, but a clutch, and that's what scares me. The first thing I'm going to do is check and see if it's if the clutch works. I know he moved it around. I know it runs. Because he had it parked in his backyard. And now it's parked in front of the Porsche. And I know he didn't push it. Yeah, see, I was reading the other day. Maybe in the new Challenger, they'll put a gas engine in it. Maybe. And if they do, they're going to start with a 6. What? You're going to put a gas engine in it, put a honking V8 in it. God, you're known for your goddamn Hemi engines. But the first ones that are coming out are all electric. With a noise box. Speakers in the grill. Brum, 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 brum. Oh boy. Yeah, speakers in the grill and speakers in the trunk. How phony is that going to be? I've got an electric car, but brum, 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 brum. I can make it sound like a V8. Talk about stupid. They said they wanted to keep the muscle car feel. What? An electric motor with a noise box. It is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There was an auto writer that did a review on the new electric Challenger. Although right now, they're not sure if they're going to call it Charger or Challenger. That's still up in the air. Whatever it is, it has a noise box. So when you turn it on and you step on the pedal, brum, 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 and then when you pull away, stupidest thing I ever heard. And Chrysler wonders why it's still number 3. Even the electric Mustang don't have a noise box. Although that looks like an SUV. It don't look like no Mustang. But for all the tree huggers, you know, everybody's got to build an electric car. Like the tree huggers we have around here. I notice now there's somebody else in the neighborhood with a Tesla. Up the street from me is a gray one, and the next street over is a red one. So we have tree huggers in the neighborhood. Give me my manual transmissions with a real engine. Hopefully, there'll be 3 of them in the driveway with 5 speeds. Oh man. I got my fingers crossed on that Passat. As much of a pain in the ass that car is going to be to work on, because it's, when you come down to it, it's an Audi, and you talk about quirky. But see, back years ago, well, 2000, well, that's years ago, a girl I was kind of semi-seeing had one. She had a VW Passat with a 5-speed. And that car was fun to drive. I think she got the hint. I liked the car better than I liked her. And then it was like, have a nice day. But it was fun to drive. They're quick when they run right. That's why I'm hoping it's just some quirky electrical problems, maybe a little bit engine. But if that thing needs a clutch, I'm going to cry, because it's going to go to the boneyard. Because his son already said the Porsche's going, definitely. Although, with what's growing inside of it, I don't know anybody that would want to touch that car. I'm hoping I can catch his son is in and out so quick. I haven't been able to catch him. I'd like to know what's over at the other house. Because I know Jim saved as many manual transmission cars as he could get his hands on. And I would tend to think the 8 cars that are over at the other house are probably all manuals. But what they are, I don't know. Maybe there's something better than the Passat over there, although, like I say, there is not one iota of rust on that Passat. It's a 2001, and it's been sitting for 5 years, and not a spot of rust. I can't wait to get it over here and buff it out, because that metallic emerald green, it's got, I know it's going to shine, because I've got 2 different buffers, and for my body shop days, I've got the compounds to buff it out. I could really make that thing shine. But the old adage, do it run? No. Do it shine? Yes. I already got the window tint for it. Hang on. What the hell happened? I don't know why it does that. Emerald green window tint. For the Passat. Emerald green car. Emerald green tint. Oh, oh, oh. Temu. Goddamn Temu got everything. Yeah, I think it was $4 for that roll. Enough to do the two, well, the four side windows and the back window. I could only do that much of the front window. Wherever the tint line is in the glass. See, people don't know that. Manufacturers put a tint line because full tinted windshields are illegal. But if you look, there is a line in the windshield that tells you how far you can put tint. So I will do the 4 side windows, the back window. I will leave a section in the middle for the mirror in the back window. I'm not going to tint the whole. I'll cut a square out. And then over the windshield. I already have. I've had it. It's not like I just bought it. A backup camera kit. So I can put a backup camera and put the monitor up on the dash. I have to have my backup cameras. I even got one in the shit box. So a backup camera for the Passat, window tint for the Passat. I already found custom taillights for the Passat. Change all the bulbs, put LEDs in. Ditch lights under the rocker This thing's going to be a green machine if it has a clutch. You know, even if it has 50% clutch, I don't drive that much. But if it has no clutch, no car. I even have a small CB radio I'm going to put in it. All my vehicles have CB radios. I won't give up. I'm a diehard CB person. Every now and then I'll hear somebody on it. There's a guy every now and then he'll yak in the morning on channel 21. There are a few diehards, but they're all my age and older. God, I remember back in the day, CB. God damn, everybody had a CB. It was amazing. Even GM, you could get them from the factory. Built-in CB. And then that phase died out. God, I can remember driving to work and getting the traffic report. Anybody that was coming west, I was going east. So I'd give them the traffic report, and they'd give me the traffic report. And then we would meet like Friday after work. Everybody would get together. Whoever you talked to on the CB, we'd all meet. And you actually got to put a face with the voice. It was fun back in the day. And then it died out. And I really don't know why. Yeah, well, cell phones came in, but that's still no reason to. Because with CB, you didn't need a license. It wasn't like you had to take a like ham. I started studying to take the ham radio. I got ham radios, and goddamn test is too confusing. But I really was considering getting a ham license. Memories. Good memories. You talk kids nowadays, CB. What's a CB? Citizen Band Radio. Well, what's that? This thing. Well, what do you use it for? To talk to people. Why? Because it was fun. It kept you occupied on your way to work or on your way home. You'd be yakking with everybody. Everybody had a handle. I was the road boss. You'd hear somebody, Wild Coyote calling road boss. Yeah, go ahead, good buddy. How's the traffic behind you? Well, you got an accident around 48th Street. Okay. Clear sailing your way. Okay. What bar are we meeting at Friday night? I don't know. We all got to decide. And there'd be like 50 people that. Oh, you're Sunflower. Oh, okay. God, it was fun. The only time you hear CBers now is if you get out like on the turnpike and you're traveling, be around the truckers. And even the truckers ain't yakking that much. Even though, from the factory, the CB's already installed. They build them into every truck. God, you ought to see some of the CB radios I got. Boy, they're over here in the top shelf of the closet. Base units, mobile units, fucking antennas. When we moved, my kid was like, "Get rid of that shit." It might make a comeback someday. And the whole thing is, Cobra still builds them things. I mean, Cobra's the big manufacturer, but there's still 3, 4, 5 manufacturers that, to this day, you go into a truck stop, you can still buy CBs, antennas. You just don't hear them local anymore like we used to. God, people had in their houses, have a base unit. Shit, talk to your next door neighbor. Why use the telephone? Use the CB. Grumpy, you're showing your age. Talk about shit. Kids nowadays have no idea what you're talking about. They look at my truck and go, what the hell's that radio? It's a CB. What do you do with it? Well, you talk to people. Don't you have a cell phone? Yes, I have 2 cell phones. I still have a CB. Those were the days. I think it's outro time. I kept it plugged in so I'd have some juice. Oh, where's my stylus? Here we go. Outro. Where's the alphabetical list? There we go. The sad part of the night when we play the outro. We know where, right here, WDWL TV. 7 p.m. And with that, thanks for keeping me company. I didn't have to talk to the bird. And we will meet again tomorrow night, right here, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I'll have another stumper tomorrow.